They draft Josh Allen. You're getting a new quarterback. What was your first impression? Did you know anything about him coming out of, like you mentioned, Wyoming?
Yeah, that was always a joke. Like, if we have a play and, like, because he's a rookie and he might mess up, I'm like, God dang, coach. I mean, can you simplify it? The kid went to Wyoming. Like, that was super, lot of talent. I mean, that's the first thing you seen when he played. So he was definitely a unique rookie. And there's no surprise that he's having such a career he's having.
This is the Buffalo Plus Podcast, brought to you by Connors and Ferris.
All right, welcome back to the Buffalo Plus Podcast, presented by Connors and Ferris. Mike Catalana, Dan Fates, I am Jenna Cottrell. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Gentlemen, a very special guest on our show today, Lesean McCoy. It was so much fun. We talked about Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Sean McDermott, what it was like breaking the drought, what it was like talking about that guy, Dak Prescott. We have it all. A lot of fun in this one. Bills right now on the bye.
Real quick. There are times we try and get guests on and you're not really sure how they're going to be, right?
Yeah.
Like network TV guy, future Hall of Famer. Is he going to come on? Buffalo Plus is growing. Like we're becoming a big deal, but you're a little bit hesitant of what you're going to get. Long day for Shady. He does his the facility on FS1. He was incredible.
Yeah. He's a unique guy too. He was there for the beginning.
Yeah.
That's what we talk about a lot. The beginning of Sean.
Yeah.
The beginning of Josh.
Mm-hmm.
And just to let you know, Bills fans, he loves BillsMafia.
Oh, yeah. That was, yeah.
He loves
He gets into it, but yeah.
Yes.
Also, can I just give shout out to the shirt?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
We're rocking the shirt today, guys.
Love it. All right, so the Bills on the bye this week. We're going to get to the interview real quick. Just some housekeeping. Terrell Bernard named AFC Defensive Player of the Week after his performance against the Chiefs on Sunday.
Yeah, love it. Love it for him. He deserved it. Like you've said, against the Chiefs, that game he missed. And it's great for him going forward for anything. Pro Bowl, All-Pro, all those awards help.
Yeah, I think it also validates us that we've been saying, and a lot of Bills fans have saying, not just us, that if Terrell Bernard played in that playoff game, the Bills probably win that game.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he talked about it. It did mean a lot. Missing that game last season and then getting in that kind of performance, the sack, the interception. I love Dan Orlovsky's breakdown of him on social media. He talks about it almost looks like Terrell knows the play, and the fact that they spied with him on Mahomes. He's the most important player on that defense. I know other guys have been playing well, but Terrell Bernard is the quarterback of that defense, the heart and soul, the leader that he's emerged to. It's been awesome.
It's cool to see him get that recognition too, because of all the work he does. And I feel like now other players on other teams, other fans from other teams are being like, oh, that Terrell Bernard guy is pretty good. So obviously love to see that. And without any further ado, let's get into the guest of honor. All right, welcoming in a very, very special guest to our show, Lesean McCoy, Shady, 12 years in the league, 4 with the Bills, future Hall of Famer. You were there for a lot of special moments in Buffalo, the drought ending, Sean McDermott coming in, Josh Allen as well. Shady, we want to thank you so much for joining us here on Buffalo Plus.
I'm happy to be here. I love the intro. I'm loving it.
Yes. All right, we want to get into a bunch of things, but first let's start with just Josh Allen. You were there obviously when he was drafted, but what do you see now when you watch Josh?
It's so funny when we text and we talk. I always say, like, who was the first person to say that, yo, you were going to be a great player in this league? And he always says Shady. When I first seen him, man, like, he's super talented, right? I mean, God, can run, can throw. Super intelligent. The thing what people don't know is how competitive Josh is. Josh does not want to lose in any sport, any game, and that's what makes him so special. So I'm not really like surprised. I will always mess with him like, hey, you got a lot of talent, but you didn't learn anything in Wyoming. And now you look at him. He's taking over games, right? Going against the defending champs, the Chiefs, puts the game on his back, and he wins it, right? There's nothing he can't do. It's funny because all the talent that they lost this year on offense and defense, everybody was curious what would they look like. And then you see him just take over, right, and win these games. So super happy for Josh, man, that whole offense, that team. Sean McDermott deserves a lot of credit for Josh's success as well. I was there when he changed the whole culture, the whole environment in Buffalo, and through the whole building, players, coaches, everybody. So a lot of love to the Bills, man. And it's no surprise that they're this good.
Yeah. Hey, let's go to Sunday. It's 4th and 2.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're watching like everybody else. What were you thinking? And then what did you think when he took off?
Not to even brag, but I knew he would win the game because this scenario is like you got the champs down, it's close game. 3rd down doesn't work out. Now it's 4th and 2, 4th and 3. You go for it, obviously. And I'm like, listen, we're not running the ball. We're not doing no trick plays, right? They did an easy concept. It was like a mesh route. The defense guessed right because they went zone preparing for that. And Josh took over. That's what he does, though. Like, there's certain teams, certain players where a guy like Joe Burrow, really, really great quarterback, right? Now, I won't always harp on all his talents as far as his arm strength or his ball placements. But one thing about a guy like Joe is clutch moments, he's going to take over. Patrick Mahomes, clutch moments, he's going to take over. A guy like Lamar Jackson, Josh is right there with them dudes. When it's clutch moments, he's going to take over. And that's why he should be our MVP this season.
Real quick on the run. Josh either runs around them, runs by them, leaps over them, runs through it. What when you're watching a quarterback run like that, what were you thinking seeing him go down the field?
So I guess it's different for me because I'm used to it. I remember his first big, crazy splashy play. We played the Vikings. He's a rookie. And he hops over the defender. And the defender at the time, I think, was Eric Kendricks. And at this time, he was still like a legit, top-tier linebacker. And I'm thinking like, dang, this is the worst we'll ever see Josh Allen as a rookie. And now you see him each year get better and better and better. And the funny thing is, most linebackers, defensive players, they can't wait to see a quarterback running. Take his head off. Well, with Josh, you kind of overthink that, like, he might try to take my head off. And that's why he's so special, because he can run. He can do everything you want him to do. Run past you. People don't know how fast Josh is. I've been there with Josh. He's clocked 20 miles per hour before running. I've seen that. I witnessed that. And he's elusive also. So many different dimensions of running the ball. He gives you that. And that's why, like, when the game got late and it was 4th and 3, I said he's either going to run this ball or he's going to throw it. And he ran it, and nobody could tackle him. Because he did break like 2 tackles before he scored.
Yeah. Going off that, you were talking about 2018 in that season. Let's go back to draft night. You're a veteran in this league, all of these things coming off of snapping the drought. They draft Josh Allen. You're getting a new quarterback. What was your first impression? Did you know anything about him coming out of, like you mentioned, Wyoming?
Yeah, that was always a joke. Like, if we have a play and because he's a rookie and he might mess up, I'm like, God dang, coach. I mean, can you simplify it? The kid went to Wyoming. Like, that was the joke. But to be honest, I wasn't really happy to draft a quarterback. I remember going to the front office like, hey, man, I had a really good year last year. The line looks a little shaky this year. And we're getting a rookie quarterback. Like, are we rebuilding? Because at this time, I'm a little older, and I didn't want to be part of a rebuild, So that was like the conversation. But then when Josh came in the room, he has a great personality. Everybody gravitates to. So that was cool to work with. And he was always trying to get better. There's a lot of rookies that they come in as first rounders and they kind of got their spot, and they don't really work extremely hard because they feel like they have time and they're part of the team already. He wasn't like that. I mean, he came in as a worker, right? He came in as a guy that wants to prove himself. Super lot of talent. I mean, that's the first thing you seen when he played. So he was definitely a unique rookie. And there's no surprise that he's having such a career he's having.
Yeah, I'm just curious. Was there a certain moment where you're like, wow, this kid could be really special?
A couple of times in camp. So, you don't really get to see the rookies as much. They have the rookie mini camps and all that. But then I think it was real camping. You seen how he would get out the pocket. I'm like, dang, he can run, right? And then he get out the pocket and he's throwing these launcher passes. Like, whoa, we got an arm. And then as I see him play more and more, I'm like, this dude is going to be legit. Now, he would make some bad plays. He would throw some picks, right? He would throw some dirt balls, make some bad reads. But you can see the talent. You get this dude a good coach, you get this guy some time, he's going to be elite, and that was more of when I realized that Josh was so good. Another thing is he was super competitive. The better players in this league, all the greats, one thing they all have in common, they compete at the highest level. Even Patrick Mahomes, he competes. I remember the first time I went over there when we couldn't get the money situated in Buffalo, and I go to Kansas City with Andy Reid and et cetera. And me and Pat was just talking, and Pat had a phenomenal year the year before. And he's asking about Josh, and we're talking about Josh. And he's like, you know what? Because I'm an instigator, I like to. I say, who arm you think is bigger, right? You and Josh. And Pat's laughing. He said, well, Shady, we'll never know because it's a lose-lose. I'm like, what do you mean? And at the time, Pat's the best out of everybody. He's like, I got a big arm. If I throw against Josh, which I think he got a big arm, I don't win that case, right? Because I'm supposed to win because I'm who I am. But the second part is like, this dude can really throw the ball. And when he said that, we all smiled and laughed. But that let me know that, I wasn't tripping. Everybody knows that Josh is that elite talent.
Yeah.
Yeah. When people talk about Josh, they obviously talk about all his talent, everything he's done. He just hasn't gotten there yet.
Yeah.
You play with Mahomes, who gets there all the time.
Yeah.
Is there a difference? You've played with both of them. Is there a difference? Is there something Josh needs? Obviously, you got to win that biggest game. But is there something you see that's different about him?
Yeah, a couple of things. So one is just being honest. I think they both are clutch. I think Pat has been more clutch in bigger games, right? I think a lot has to do with where you was drafted at. Andy Reid, Brett Veach, the GM, they're always going to have a good team. No matter who's the wide receivers, no matter who's the linemen are, they're winners, right? In Philadelphia, he didn't win the big game, Super Bowl, but he got there. He won the 4 straight NFC Championship games, and he didn't have a whole bunch of all-pro receivers. That one year in the Super Bowl, Terrell Owens didn't even play until the Super Bowl game.
Right.
So they do a great job of drafting the players. All Andy Reid's superstar Hall of Fame dudes he drafted them guys. Just name them. I can name, you guys know the names. And I think coaching. You think about the last Super Bowl with the Chiefs. A lot of that was Pat making them clutch moments at the end of the games, if it's throwing or running, right?
Yeah.
No matter how the game was going. And then the play calling. We seen in the Super Bowl with the Eagles playing the Chiefs. They had two touchdowns in the Super Bowl, uncontested. Now you can give Pat a lot of that credit, but a lot of that credit goes to Andy Reid. That's like game plan. That's like coaching. That's like down the plays up. So I think a lot has to do with the coaching, Andy Reid, his play calling, and the coach he has in Kansas City, and also a lot of the players that he has over there with the Kelce's and the Tyreek Hills and all other guys. And then the other part is Patrick Mahomes, give him credit. He has that clutch gene. No matter how bad the game is going, no matter how bad he's playing, he finds a way to win. I think Josh has to get a little bit better with that, of like getting them more clutch plays, clutch wins when you need it most. But as far as Pat and Josh, people think I'm crazy when I say this, but they are so similar, super similar.
Wow.
Yeah. You talked a lot about coaching there. I'd love your perspective. I would love to hear your perspective on Sean McDermott, especially knowing him early in his coaching career, what that was like.
Sean's tremendous. Sean's a great coach, super smart. He's the type of coach that players want to love to play for. I played for him, and in Philadelphia, he was quiet. To be honest, he was really quiet. And I was younger, but as we got to Buffalo, he talked more. He's a great leader, And you talk about changing culture. So I was there, Buffalo first. Rex Ryan did a good job, but Sean just elevated the whole team, the whole building. Like everybody was really a family, and he always talked about playoff caliber football, and he's really changed the culture of the Buffalo Bills since I've been there, right? And a lot of the credit goes to Sean McDermott, right? Brandon Beane, the way that they've drafted good players, right? Players that wasn't drafted high, getting the most out of them.
Yeah.
That was McDermott, right? And McDermott has everybody in the building believing. He's always going to be one of my favorite coaches because he was really, really good, man. Really, really good.
I guess one quick follow-up. How difficult is that to change a culture? Because we hear that a lot. The coaches change the culture. I feel like that is way easier said than actually done, right?
Yeah. So how I would break that down is you got to draft winners. You got to draft some good players. Now, not everybody, right? You got to draft players that are coachable, but the coach can develop. There's a lot of coaches that draft players that was really good in college, but they don't develop in the league. Sean was good at that, developing a lot of them players. And another thing is, trusting coaches. A lot of coaches give you these long speeches and I tell you this and tell you that. But every player don't believe all that. When Sean spoke, you believed it because everything he's telling you, he's doing. He's giving 110%. He's training. He's working out with us, right? He's in the film room, making it easier for the players. Same way with Andy Reid. You know, he coached under Andy Reid, so you can see some similarities. But them type of coaches, it's a reason why, you know, they are special and they are great.
I have a question. We talked obviously about Josh and about Sean. Is there another young player on this Bills roster that has kind of stood out to you or caught your eye so far this season?
James Cook. Yo, that brother can play. It's funny because I know his brother worked very well. And I live in Miami, right? Like they're from Miami. So we all train together though. But training with him he was quiet. You know, I'm loud, you know what I'm saying? And he's kind of in the back, right? And he didn't really say much. And then even watch him train. He looked okay. Just being honest, he looked all right. You know, I didn't see anything that like stood out to me. You know, I watched him in college. I thought he was good. You know, nothing more though. I thought he was okay. And now I see him in the NFL, like, yo, explosive, strong, quick, elusive, good hands, good eyes, good vision, great patience. And he competes. One thing I thought that I didn't think he competed a lot. Just watching him, like he was like the third string guy at Georgia. You know, it was like, and then some guys are mad about not playing, and other guys are like, okay, well, it is what it is. So I didn't really know him, so I didn't really judge him. But the outside looking in, I thought these things, and now what I see now, I'm like, it's like two different people. And whatever turned that light on, he looks different. He's one of my favorite backs to watch. A lot of talent.
Nice.
We always talk about talent, and you know, there's talented guys in the league who don't get it done. They got the numbers, the speed at the 40 and all this kind of stuff.
Right.
When you see a guy like Khalil Shakir, who doesn't look supposedly big enough, fast enough, tall enough, like whatever you'd want to say, and he catches everything Josh throws to him. Right. What do you see when you see Shakir, and does he remind you of anybody?
He doesn't remind me of anybody in particular, but I will say this. It's guys like that, because you hear all the superstars, the Josh Allen, the Patrick Mahomes, the Travis Kelce, all them dudes. But there's guys that make the difference on the team. And it's guys like him who's dependable no matter what, right? I'm going to get open. No matter what, I'm going to catch this ball. He's a guy that, you know, in some football terminology, like where he has to be 2 yards outside of the numbers. He got to be 11 yards. He's going to do that, right? He's going to do that. And guys like that, those guys you need to win championships. And I think that have him there, you know, because you ask like, okay, you lose Stephon Diggs. What quarterback doesn't want their best player? But then when you got guys you can rely on, so maybe you don't need the superstar in the building. Maybe you get a guy like Shakur can do them different things and get other receivers and get some tight ends, get some running backs. So now collectively we could hold off that void not having a superstar in the building. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
And a guy like that, bro, it's like you need players like that.
Yeah, especially going off, obviously, in the Bills bye week as we're recording this. Did Sunday's game against the Chiefs change your view of the Bills? And if you had to pick I'll put you on the spot. Who's your Super Bowl contenders? Who's your matchup?
The Chiefs and the Lions or the Eagles, right? So the thing is with the Chiefs, man, like we've seen this before. I mean, last year they lost 6 games. They won the playoffs on the road. They beat the Bills on the road, and that weather they beat Lamar Jackson. That with that defense, the way he was playing the MVP.
Yeah.
So I mean, Josh is 4-1 in the regular season against Pat. I was telling the boys the other day like that. What does that mean? What does it mean?
Yeah.
Right. Only thing that matters is what happens in the playoffs. I think the Chiefs play their best in the playoffs. Last year they didn't look great in the regular season.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Pat didn't look great. Kelsey didn't look great. The offense didn't look. They had the most drops in football.
So you're not overreacting to a Week 11 game. Like the way that each team played didn't change your view on them.
No, I've seen it happen before. I mean, like, just imagine, man, the Bills had them beat on the road in the playoffs. With
we know. We know, Shane.
No, what I'm saying is because, like, because like the other day I'm arguing with the guys I work with, and they're like, man, but Josh beat him and the Bills they're 4-1 against him.
Yeah.
All right, so let me ask you this. I don't know if I know you're an Eagle because you're in their Hall of Fame. That's where you were.
I love my Bills though, but that
Credit
is
to you.
So I want to ask you,
Shady.
yes, I want to ask you, Pat's won. You've been around him. Josh is not.
Josh too.
When they're playing now this year, AFC Championship. Are you rooting to see Josh get there?
I always root for Josh. It's funny. Yo, look, Josh have mad picks. I think one year he had all these picks. I'm like, yo, he's still the real deal. Like Josh is, so I root for Josh. But I will be honest, I'm rooting for the Chiefs to get a 3-peat. And I'm an Eagle, I'm a Hall of Fame Eagle player.
Yeah.
To be 3-peat, you know how hard that is to do, right? And then kind of coach that gave me my chance, like Andy Reid is there's nobody like Andy Reid, so I am going for them guys to get the 3-peat. And another thing about the Chiefs, I will say is like, I don't believe it until it happens because there might be better teams that might be playing better, but until somebody goes there to beat them dudes, how can you not pick them to go to the dance? Like, just think about it. I mean, the last 6-7 years, I think the worst they've ever been is a AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like,
it is wild. Yeah.
You gotta go there and beat them. We can't. Well, this team look good in the regular season, 11th week, or this. You gotta go beat them dudes.
Yeah. Philly fans, but what do you think it would be like if these Bills fans got to a Super Bowl?
Yo, and that's the thing. I want the Bills fans to get to Super Bowl just because they're so passionate and they are the best. They always ask me like to compare them, right? The Eagle fans, because the Eagle fans are wild too. But the Bills fans is like, no matter what the team is doing, bad or good, they're going to support, right? And they love their Bills. I remember my first Thursday night game in Buffalo. There were so many RVs and like the little trucks.
Yeah, oh yeah.
They were there Monday, right? So I would love for them to. It would be so many broken tables that whole week.
Oh man,
but they deserve it, man. They've been through a lot, right? They've been through a lot, and I think. God has blessed Buffalo with these quarterbacks and these players, from back in the day till now. I think they'll get their shot. I think they'll get their shot for sure.
They have been patient and they have been very
They've been patient. They've been waiting.
They've been very loyal along the way. I do want to ask real quick, we mentioned the drought earlier and ending that. What was that like, that moment of just I feel like the relief, the excitement, like what was that like? Take us back to like walking us through what that meant to you and to the teammate.
So I've been to the playoffs, quite a bit. So I'm used to it, right? So I remember when we won, and then we were leaving from, I think it was the Dolphins in Miami.
Yeah.
The Bengals did their thing or whatever for us, right? And then we fly back. It was 1 million fans. I'm like, yeah. And that really, like, even getting chills talking about it. It was something special. It shows you how appreciative the fans were, right? And how they care. And like one thing about Buffalo when I got there, I learned is that out of the whole city, like they all care. We lose a game, the whole city's down.
Yeah.
When we win a game, the whole city's up. And that's like one true heartbeat through Buffalo that I do remember and I love dearly.
Yeah. Well, Bills fans were happy that Chip Kelly was stupid in that decision to send you to Buffalo. So I want to ask you about this. The semifinalists are out for the Hall of Fame. Fred Taylor, Ricky Waters, who I believe went to your high school.
Right? Let me stop real quick.
Yep.
Ricky Waters and myself, we're the only running backs of all time to went to the same high school and both have over 10,000 yards. So Ricky, we gotta get Ricky in there.
Well, okay, so I'm looking at the numbers. Fred Taylor, great player. Ricky, great player. Your numbers are actually a little bit better total. Do you think you've got a real shot at this? Because Jenna put you in the Hall of Fame when we got started.
That's right. That's my girl.
That's it.
Undoubtedly.
But I mean, your numbers show it. You were in the all-decade team.
Yeah.
And you got to think about it, right? Everybody who played has to think about it.
I think I'll get in, right? I mean, something I think about for sure. And then I always try to compare myself to like other running backs that may be in the Hall of Fame. And I'm like, man, I'm just as good or better than this guy or better numbers. So hopefully it works out. That's something that I'll be lying if I said I didn't worry about it. But yeah, hopefully I'll get in there. I think Fred Taylor was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Ricky Waters, obviously phenomenal dude. So all them guys, I look at myself in the same light. Even a guy like this guy in from the Colts, Edgerrin James.
Yeah.
Like I compared the numbers and the play and all that. And it's like, Frank Gore, one of my best friends, he always tells me, I gained way more respect for you when you went to Buffalo than Philadelphia. I'm like, well, what do you mean? Because I was lights out in Philadelphia too.
Yeah.
He says, because the players that you play with, the help you had around you. Mm-hmm. So when you look at a guy like Edgerrin James, I mean, if you had to just think of an all-time Colts team, you don't have to think about all the years. You could just say, yo, the time he played there, that was an all-time quarterbacks, Hall of Fame wide receivers, linemen, right? But in Buffalo, like I didn't have as much help.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So all that stuff matters. So I didn't look at all them type of things, man. But we'll see.
You always appreciated you coming on here. Just one last question. You're great in this media thing, and you give us one of the best clips.
Thank you. Well, thank you.
You give us one of the best clips of all time. And I just wanted to ask your opinion. I know he's not playing. Mm-hmm. I just wanted your thoughts on Dak Prescott.
Well, we will say we repeat your line all the time when we mention Dak.
To give you a real take on Dak, right? So Michael Parsons from Harrisburg.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I remember one time, this is when Dak was throwing the ball to the opposite team a lot. And he's like, well, Josh Allen does it. Right? Because I love Josh Allen. I say, I thank God every day that the football gods didn't allow Josh to play with the Cowboys. Because every year it will be Cowboys versus the Chiefs. Every year.
Yeah.
So Dak is a good quarterback. I don't know if he's like elite. I don't know if he's a $60 million quarterback. I don't know if he elevates the team like the other elite quarterbacks, like the Joshes or the Pats and Lamar's, them dudes. And I've seen him with having like superstar rosters on both sides, offense and defense, all pros everywhere. And it's like he wins 12 games and like we just want to like put the pom-poms on and cheer it on. But I think it's a dream to play for that type of team with that type of talent.
Shady, it's an all-time quote. It's an all-time quote.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
We do love it.
We love it.
I don't want my mom got mad at me, so I can't say it. She's mad at me about that.
That is fair. We respect that. All right, Shady, thank you so much for your time. You are a future Hall of Famer in our book. We so thank you for your insight. Be sure to check out Lesean on the facility on FS1 from 9 a.m. to noon Eastern Standard Time. Shady, thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Happy to see you guys. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Great to see you. Thank you.
Thanks again, Shady.
All right, guys.
That was awesome.
That was awesome.
I loved it. I loved his honesty and his passion.
Yeah.
And like we said, he's a guy who has been around all this. When he talked about Josh as a rookie, but you could tell right away as a veteran player, he's looking around going, they got something here. I think he wishes he could have been around for a little more of it. He did get a couple Super Bowl rings as a part-time kind of guy in Tampa and in Kansas City. But that was cool.
It was. And I was impressed by his honesty. Him talking about like, I was an older guy in my career. I didn't know if I didn't want them to draft. I didn't want to be a part of a rebuilding team. And I think sometimes we forget like that makes sense. And especially at that point in his career, I could understand why he would have some hesitation about, they're drafting this new quarterback. How could this go?
Out of Wyoming.
Wyoming. And then the little smack talk between him and Josh, all that stuff is cool.
I also loved his openness too about McDermott.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes you see McDermott as this hard-nosed guy that, is a defensive-minded guy, like doesn't necessarily maybe want to relate to the offensive players as much. And that just wasn't the case. And I forgot that he had been around him, McDermott, when he was with Philly and saying, he was a quiet guy then. So I like that.
Shady's a loyal guy in this sense too, because who's he rooting for? He admits he loves the Bills and he'd love to see Josh do it. But Andy Reid's the guy that brought him in.
Yeah, and that is loyalty.
That is loyalty, and he sees that. Now, he also, he has an affinity for Josh Allen and would like to see him get that. Of course, we don't know what's going to end up happening with the whole, with the whole
shakeout, but
playoffs and everything that moves forward. But, his talk about many things, and I had to get a Chip Kelly reference in there for him.
Yeah, that's perfect.
The Chip Kelly one was great.
I do feel like if you're watching other sports media, his show, The Facility on FS1 from 9 a.m. to noon, like Shady is very open with how he feels. And I feel like some people are maybe not are not always like that. So I would highly recommend checking that out on FS1, the facility. It's a fun show, and obviously he has fun with it too.
I'm so happy that this switcher didn't malfunction
during the interview.
During the McCoy interview. As you saw me fumbling around here, it's the camera switcher wasn't doing it. I wanted so bad I just wanted him to give me a Dak his ass.
Yeah.
That's so funny about his mom.
His mom was mad.
That was
his
great.
mom. It's perfect. That was cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
We want to do credit to me.
Credit to me. Go ahead.
No, I think
Go ahead.
Am I starting?
Why don't you start?
Okay, credit to me.
You told us like a while ago that you already had it. You were very excited about.
Well, I had mine on Sunday because credit to me. I think, let's see, what year is it? 2024. Thanks. Credit to me. The next time I will drive to a Bills game will be 2032. Because for the first time in my time at Channel 13, I had to drive myself to a Bills game.
People think that we're too mean on her at times.
No,
this is classic.
Yeah. First time in 8 years that I've driven to a game.
So I was in New York. I flew from New York. I was there for a wedding to Buffalo. I kind of was like, flew in. Dan was on baby watch, wanted to make sure he had his own vehicle. So driving Miss Jenna, grabbed the wheel.
I had to drive myself.
Yeah.
And then Mike drove home though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mike drove home. Yeah, so
it was a drive to Buffalo.
So, okay, I'll share this on here. So Dan's like, hey, I packed the gear for you. Amazing. Appreciated. I'm about to leave and I'm like, I don't have the camera. It's like, I'm really bad at this. And then I went to go get gas and we have like a station card that we use. And I'm like, I don't even remember my gas PIN number. So there was some trials and tribulations.
Wow.
But
we're proud of you. You made it.
The old passenger princess.
I was very brave and drove to Buffalo by myself.
That's it. Awesome.
I know.
You want me to go next?
You go next.
All right. Credit to me. And this is different, but I was looking at some old video of me and I thought, credit to me, I never colored my hair. And you laugh.
I could never.
This is not about anybody else. I'm in TV. I've been in TV a long time. A lot of people for their appearance. Now, listen, I am full on with people. You want to color your hair? Women. Jenna does. My wife does. My daughters do. Everybody. It's different. With guys. And guys, if you want to color your hair, go ahead. Go ahead. Oh but I just go, listen, it's going to go great. It's a little easier for guys. But there are a lot of guys in our business who go like jet black or
You go Coach K. The next podcast.
I mean,
use the bye week and go jet black. Go Coach K.
And
some shoe polish
also
up there.
Credit to Heather.
Yes.
Who cuts my hair and styles Jenna's hair.
Yes.
Mine is like done.
Yeah.
But she's like, there's no freaking way I'm coloring your hair. But I look and I go, listen, what am I doing here? No, it just stays the way it is. And I feel like it's authentic.
Yeah, it is.
And I feel like we've also, when we went back for the Hall of Fame stuff, saw old clips of you. It's the same hair.
It really is.
It's just grayer.
Yeah.
So it's grayer. So this middle part here, my daughters would call it the peninsula.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
That's so mean.
They were kids. They were like, Dad, you got the peninsula, which they probably learned that in school.
Okay, but that's really
since like you were 35. Like
it's my dad's hair. Like it's same hairline.
You have good hair.
I have consistent hair.
I think that.
But I'm just like, hey,
that's a great credit.
I was looking at these wedding pictures. I was looking at the Hall of Fame stuff, and then you see the older ones, and I'm like,
honestly, that was one of the things that we talked about. We're like, his hair's the same.
Yeah, it's
3+ decades.
Just a little grayer.
What's your credit to you?
Yeah, obviously, I think if you watch the Uncle Dan's Best Bets and the fact that I drove separately to the game, we are on full-on baby watch for baby girl number 3. My wife is in an appointment right now, just a routine checkup, but now we're going every 4 days. So obviously, it's credit to my wife. We are heading in any
credit
moment now. So also, credit to my daughter, unreal awareness. We survived. I was very nervous going to Indy. I was nervous going up to the Bills game. I drove separately, but I was even saying to Renee, hey, is this dumb? Like, what if I get stuck in traffic? Like, is this dumb? And she's like, no. Doctor said like, it's fine, but it's going to be this week. So credit to my wife. Appreciate it. We're going to spend some time with the family. But yeah, credit to my wife and my kid for having excellent awareness.
Seriously.
Bye week. That's elite.
Like actually though,
Yes.
we think both of them as well.
Yes.
Credit to them.
So appreciate it. As we, she was saying last night, and again, she's like, "Oh, I'm scared."
Yeah.
I was like, I would be if you weren't scared. Like it's our third kid, but it was.
Yeah.
Somebody texted me the other day, one of my friends, and was like, "Hey, how are you doing, Dad? Like it's a lot on you, and we don't care enough about the dads." And I was like, "We are bench players.
Oh, no kidding.
We are the role players that the star players need to be happy. We are nowhere. We're vibes guy.
You're waving the towel guy.
I am.
You got the towel and the Gatorade for LeBron.
I am hold the hands, like breathe. You got this. Like that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
So shout out to all moms.
Yes.
Yes.
Including
absolutely.
my wife.
Yes.
Yeah. Very excited for you guys.
Thank
Nice.
you.
Yes. All right. Well, great credit to me. Great. We're all very excited.
Yep.
So, anything else, gentlemen?
I don't think so. I think this bye week's going to buzz by. Next thing you know, we'll be getting ready
enjoy
for
your
the
bye week.
Yeah.
Everybody, you're 9-2.
I interrupted you.
That's fine. We'll let this
Okay.
go.
It's
See,
okay.
It's okay.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
it doesn't phase me. I don't mind interruptions. Do you mind interruptions, Dan?
Not at all.
Yeah. See, we don't.
It's like white noise.
It is. Oh, we are
There's
that.
that. Okay. All right. Thank you all so much for joining us. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Also, check out our audio podcast available wherever you get your podcasts, also named Buffalo Plus. So we would appreciate that. If you would rate and subscribe for Mike.
Top 10.
Yeah. Top 10 in
Yeah.
Apple Podcast, which
We're
is
also all
awesome.
on Blue Sky too. I
Yeah.
think some people have.
Yes.
And Twitter
Yes.
still.
I gotta.
So we're all on that as well.
Yeah.
It's not that we're leaving any social media site. It's just we've always said fish where the fish are. So
Yes, exactly. All right. So for Mike Catalana and soon to be father of 3, Dan Fates, I am Jenna Cottrell. Thank you so much for watching Buffalo Plus presented by Connors and Ferris. Please enjoy your bye week, but still watch all of our Buffalo Plus content. Love you guys. We'll see you.